Welcome to the Science Plus Love Equals Cure podcast, the STXBP1 10-minute monthly update. This is podcast number 18. I'm Charlene Sun-Rigby, president and co-founder of the STXBP1 Foundation, and I'm also mom to SDXer Juno and her big brother Luca. Okay, today's topics: FDA meeting, new Stanford Natural History Study site, Community Connect, and our Q4 census results. To start things off, Happy New Year. I cannot believe it is already 2025. We have a lot to do this year, and so I am really excited to get into things. So our first topic is our FDA meeting. And as promised in December, I want to talk about the recent meeting that we had with the FDA. So one of the important roles the Food and Drug Administration has is approving new therapies in the US. And working with the FDA has been a major component of our clinical trial readiness efforts. We had a couple of formal meetings with the FDA to engage them on our patient experience and the significant challenges that our patients have, and how there are really no effective therapies that help our kids with the broad set of symptoms that they experience. And these meetings, including the October 2023 meeting that we had, are part of the patient-focused drug development program at the FDA. And this is really important because it has laid the foundation for understanding that STXBP1 is not just a seizure disorder. Our patients need help with seizures, but there's a broad set of additional symptoms that significantly impact our patients' lives and that are a priority for our parents and families for therapy development. So on Friday, February 13, lucky 13, we had our first scientific meeting with the FDA. This was called a Critical Path Innovation Meeting, or CPIM, and we had requested this meeting 7 months prior with the goal of reviewing the STARR Natural History Study with the FDA. This was a joint meeting that included STARR team members across the Foundation, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and Colorado Children's Hospital. And we shared the protocol, which is the measures that are being used in the study, as well as the visit schedule, which is every 6 months. And because we are already into the second year of the STARR study, the team was able to share some of the initial data. It was frankly thrilling that there were 36 FDA participants in our CPIM meeting, and they were highly engaged throughout the discussion. One of the first comments from the FDA was that they appreciated that we are collecting data in a rigorous manner. They also reinforced that natural history study data is critical in this population because of the diversity of our patients. This diversity is often called heterogeneity. And so when we say that every patient truly matters, every patient really does matter in terms of helping us to build this picture of our diverse and heterogeneous patient population, and also to build it over time through this longitudinal study with the every 6 month visits. So there were concerns that were raised over whether we had enough patients to capture this diversity, and there was also excitement at the fact that we have collected data in over 100 patients, and now we actually have over 137 patients who are enrolled. So our numbers are really looking very strong. They encouraged us to review the data we're getting as the study is going and working to evaluate what is working. And here, I want to assure you that the STARR research team is doing exactly this. There is a huge mountain of data that is being generated from the visits and was generated even just in the first year. And the research team, led by principal investigator Ingo Helbig, has already been cranking on the data analysis. Since this is the first natural history study for STXBP1 intended to define measures that can be used in clinical trials, it is an important tool and body of data to be able to evaluate whether these assessments or tests that are used in the clinic visit or in the surveys that families are receiving, whether they are appropriate. And so what does appropriate mean? It means that our patients can do the measure, that they are able to, their ability falls within the range of the measure, and that there aren't patients who are performing above or below the range of what the test measures. And this issue of performing above or below is sometimes called a ceiling or a floor effect. And so far, we've been really heartened to see that the measures that we're using are able to capture our patients' abilities, though there are a very small number of patients who may be at the ceiling for at least one of the measures. And so we were encouraged to watch this over time and see if we need to swap in or add a measure. The FDA also emphasized that we need to be looking for changes and specifically measuring changes that are meaningful to families. So this is why we developed our disease concept model in 2023 that was published in 2023, and Katie Rose Sullivan from CHOP was the lead author. And this is also why we've been engaging the FDA through the PFDD program, as I talked about a couple minutes ago. The FDA also highlighted that they are open to looking at parts of measures instead of a full measure as an endpoint. So what does this mean and why is it important? So some measures like the Vineland or the Bailey measure multiple things, including motor function, expressive communication, and receptive communication. And so this means that a clinical trial could potentially use only one of these areas instead of using the entire measure as an endpoint. And the underlying idea here is to adapt existing scales to really hone in on what's clinically meaningful and also what might be more sensitive to clinical change. This was really exciting feedback for us as we progress this study and delve into analyzing the data. So a lot was covered in this FDA meeting. We'll also have a meeting summary on our website in the coming couple months. Okay, second topic, Stanford site for the STARR Natural History Study. I'm really pleased to give an update that the Stanford site has launched and is seeing its first patients. The first set of patients were seen at the end of October, and another set of patients will be seen this month in January. Juliet Knowles is the site principal investigator working with Catherine Zhang. So thanks to our Stanford team. Okay, third topic, Community Connect. I was able to catch up with our board member, Melissa Hiyoko, to talk about a new program called Community Connect. So this program, Community Connect, provides opportunities for parents and caregivers to connect, educate, and amplify helpful information on STXBP1 disorders together. So let's listen in to learn about Community Connect. Melissa, thank you for joining the Science Plus Love Equals Cure podcast. We're really interested in learning more about this new program, Community Connect. So let's start there. What is the Community Connect? So this was your brainchild. And so why did you think it was needed?
Yeah, so I'm super excited about Community Connect. This is a program we've been working on for a little while and really excited to get it launched and off the ground. So, as you said, Charlene, the goal of Community Connect is to be able to connect, um, is to provide connections with families and loved ones, also to be able to educate and amplify awareness on STXBP1. So, why did we create it? I think it's kind of obvious. Our parents and our families want connection. They want to be able to connect with each other. We do that on Facebook, but this provides a virtual and potentially an in-person way for families to be able to connect with each other, learn more, share knowledge, be able to help each other, and be able to also amplify awareness on STXBP1.
Cool. Well, what kind of programming has already happened with Community Connect?
Yeah, so we started off just kind of slow, just kind of getting our feet wet. We did a couple. We tried out a couple of virtual connect um, groups, and those were really fun. We had some new families join, some newly diagnosed families joined, and they were just able to connect with other families and just sharing in that connection and providing them with some resources was really awesome. And then we also did a couple of educational webinars. We did one on IEPs, And we plan to have a lot more of these educational webinars for families. And then we just started and just launched our State Experts program. And so you're probably asking, what is State Experts and why do we need it? So just kind of going back a little bit, we had regional groups previously, and we found, even though the regional groups were great, we found that people were just too spread out, and resources were not the same across different states within the US. And so we decided to kind of reorganize the program, and we decided to go ahead and find state experts. And if you look at the way that state experts is spelled, it's ST and then an X in experts, so it's STX, and that's something that the state experts came up with themselves, so that was kind of fun. And so this is our newest program that we have just launched, and super excited to have 21 state experts who are involved and who are excited to be able to connect with families within their state.
That's really wonderful. I was looking at our website last night and seeing that many of those state experts have actually put together a resource page for their state.
Yeah, really exciting. And I just want to just say we did come up with the name state experts, but nobody is really a complete expert. So we're always looking for new resources. And so when you look at our website, you're going to see the resource page, Charlene, that you were just looking at. And on that resource page, these wonderful parents and grandparents, we have parents and grandparents who have become state experts, and they have put together this resource list for their state. This is not an inclusive list. In other words, I'm sure there's more resources that can be added. And if you know of an important resource in your state, we want you to connect with your state expert, or go to our website, find your state expert, and check out the resource list. And hopefully there's resources there that will be useful for you within your journey of STXBP1, and be able to help you to get services, or get connected with whatever resource it is that you need.
So it sounds like if families are interested in connecting with a state expert, they can do that on our website with that map, through that map. And then generally, how can people get involved with Community Connect?
Yeah, so just on that website that you're referring to, it's under Get Involved. So if you go to our website under Get Involved, you'll see Community Connect. And if you click on Community Connect and you scroll down, you'll see the state experts. And there you'll see a map, as you were referring to, and the map will show you if your state has a state expert. And then under the map is a form, and that form you can fill out. Tell us what state you're in. Is there something specific that you want, a resource on? Or do you just want to connect with whoever your state expert is? And then we will get you connected. That form will automatically come to us, and then we will get you connected with your state expert. So the form is your way of getting connected with your state expert. And also, I just want to say that not only have these state experts created resource lists, they will also be reaching out to families that we have contacts for in their state. So be on the lookout for an email from your state expert. So that should be coming within the next month or two. And then some of them have also formed Facebook groups for their state. So if you reach out to your state expert, you can ask, hey, is there a Facebook group for my state? And then that's another way that you can be able to connect with families that may be close to you. And then Community Connect is the bigger, broader umbrella of this program, and state experts is just one program under it. But as I stated before, we're going to be doing educational webinars, especially as we have more things going on within our community and within the foundation. We want to make sure you're educated. We want to make sure that we provide the resources that you need so that you can feel like you have the knowledge to make decisions for your child. And then also, we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get involved in things that are happening within the community or within the foundation. So we're going to provide the webinars and also just provide those opportunities for you to get involved. And so again, go to Get Involved on our website. You'll see Community Connect. We're building out that page as we speak, so just keep checking back. And if you want to connect with one of us about Community Connect, in particular me, if you want to connect with me, you can send an email to community@stxbp1disorders.org, or if you send it to info@stxbp1disorders.org, both of those will get to me, and then I'm happy to um, get you connected within Community Connect. So.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Melissa. This is interview with Melissa Hyoko, our Director of Community Engagement and Events. Thanks so much, Melissa.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was great. Okay, fourth topic, census results. STXBP1 Global Connect wrapped up our last quarterly census for 2024 with 1,227 patients in 54 countries. That is 70 additional patients in Q4 and 254 new patients identified in 2024. Absolutely amazing, especially since we only started our census in 2023. And we will have the next census in March. So if you haven't been counted yet, please register on our caregiver contact list on our foundation website or with your country association outside of the US. All right, let's call it a wrap for today, and I look forward to connecting with you again next month.